£30.
Even if you were living under a rock, it seems like new shopping app Temu would find a way to show you its flashy adverts.
Temu's advertising strategy is pretty much online carpet bombing.
It's only 89 cents! Less than $10.
It is one of the fastest growing retailers the world has ever seen.
I downloaded it.
I have saved so much money on Temu.
A quarter of the British population have downloaded the app since it launched less than 2 years ago, with 500 million users globally.
Temu haul, yes please.
There is literally nothing that you can't get on here. Its meteoric rise is down to one thing.
It was dead cheap.
It was super cheap.
But can we really trust those tiny price tags? Took my 10-kilo child for a walk. Well, that lasted, what, like 3 seconds? Are we in control of what we're spending on it?
Temu's slogan is "Shop like a billionaire."
Halfway to a gambling app. That's mad. And are those cheap products even safe to use?
It's very, very toxic.
In the worst case, this electric shock could lead to death.
Temu was launched in September 2022.
Temu? What's that?
It's an online marketplace.
The things that are available on Temu cover every possible kind of product that you can think of, from the sublime to the ridiculous.
This 8-liter washing machine is amazing!
So I've got these amazing items for my baby boy. I got him a bowl where he can have his morning fruit.
Jodie is one of 15 million Brits who's downloaded Temu, and it's all about the rock bottom prices. Like me, Jodie's a mother to a young boy, and she shares her latest purchases with her online following. She's being paid up to £1,000 by Temu to make videos showcasing their products. So have you bought quite a bit from Temu then?
So I think I bought probably 60, maybe more items. You can get all of these things for a really cheap price. There's discounts everywhere. So I was definitely hooked in from that. So I've got this cardigan, which, you know, it's kind of neutral colour. I mean, it's not like straight off the catwalk at Fashion Week in Paris, but for the price, it's cozy. But obviously, yeah, it's not like Gucci quality, obviously not. And, you know, it's the cost of living crisis, and I do believe that everyone should be able to afford simple things like clothes and hoovers and cleaning products.
The reason Temu's so cheap is because it doesn't manufacture any of the products it sells. Instead, it provides the online platform for thousands of Chinese businesses to sell their goods on. The merchants who sell on Temu ship directly to the customer, cutting out the middleman and making huge savings, meaning Temu's parent company is now worth an estimated £170 billion. Temu's business model might explain the rock bottom prices, but I have found evidence of complaints about the quality and safety of some of their products. So there's a woman here who says that her house burned down after a cheap tablet that she bought on Temu caught fire. Sounds like an awful experience. There's another story here about an 11-year-old girl who looks to have got a terrible burn on her hand when she used glue from Temu to apply fake nails. So in both cases, Temu didn't state whether its products were responsible for the incident, but it does assure customers that it undertakes rigorous quality controls. But after seeing these cases, I do have some questions. So I'm going to order a range of their best-selling items and take a look at the quality and try and test that those that should be safe actually are. So I'm going to do a range of things, like products that I'm interested in, so like skincare stuff, some cosmetics maybe, if I've got a toddler, so things that might be handy for him. A floatable cow costume. I've been looking for one of them for a while, actually. Here we go. Lovely little blue dress. For what you pay, I guess this is probably what you expect. This has just been glue gunned on the front, bits of thread hanging off it. That's exciting. I feel like Christmas. That is amazing. Products for babies and children should be safe, so I've bought this safety baby walker for £2.68. The advert for the baby carrier says it is suitable for children up to 3 years of age, which means it should hold an average weight of 15 kilograms. So I put it to the test in the local park. This is like a baby walker, which is meant to hold up to 15 kilos, and you should be able to like support a baby's weight with it. So let's see how we get on. Strap my child in. Take my 10-kilo child for a walk. Well, that lasted, what, like 3 seconds? 5 kilos under what it was supposed to be. It's obviously slightly ridiculous testing this in a park with a few sandbags that are meant to be my children. But the point is, if people are buying these and they're expecting to put their kid in it at the advertised weight, then they're relying on that advertising to be accurate and they're relying on these products to be safe. Temu told us an independent lab test showed the product held a 15-kilogram weight for 2 hours without issue. Nonetheless, in the interest of safety, we will conduct a further review before deciding whether to allow the merchant to resume its sale. There are some things that I just wouldn't leave to chance when it comes to buying at a massively reduced price tag, and mostly that's certain stuff for my kid and also safety equipment. So I had a little look on Temu to see if they have much safety equipment on there, and I managed to find some carabiners. Rock climbers and construction workers use carabiners to connect ropes to their harnesses, and the equipment is responsible for bearing most of the climber's weight. Compared to carabiners available elsewhere, these are a third of the typical price. The carabiners were advertised as being certified by the UIAA, a climbing organisation that certifies mountaineering equipment. I'm travelling to Manchester to show the carabiners to someone from the organisation. So we got these carabiners on Temu, which is an online retailer. Is there anything you notice about them?
Looking at the carabiners is that there is a UIAA mark, but the first thing that really jumps out is the fact that we're missing either a manufacturer or brand on the carabiner. So though the carabiner doesn't have a manufacturer marked on it, the packaging that was supplied with the carabiner does. But without that brand or manufacturer marked on the carabiner, we've got no way of actually linking this carabiner to a manufacturer or any safety certificate that they might have. The UIA would not have their mark ever on a carabiner or certified product that did not hold the manufacturer's mark.
There we go. I've also found other products for sale on Temu that are marked with the labels of safety certification organisations. I'm speaking to VDE, an institute that tests and certifies electrical goods. Their safety label is on 2 pliers I've bought from Temu, as well as the advert and packaging for them.
These products that you have provided are not certified by the VDE Institute.
What's more, the 2 pliers are advertised on Temu with pictures of VDE certificates next to them. But those certificates were not granted to the seller whose name is on the paperwork that you can see in the advert's photos. The certificates appear to be forged, according to VDE.
The certificate was a copy. It was illegal. They faked the original certificate and just overwrote the name on the certificate with their own names. This will have definitely consequences for this manufacturer. If the certification is not correct, the insulation of these handheld tools is maybe not properly done, and the result could be an electric shock, and in the worst case, this electric shock could lead to death.
So I've also found some medical products that say that they've been certified by the FDA. The FDA is the US government department that regulates medical equipment. Some products are advertised as FDA certified or FDA approved, suggesting that they've been assessed by the department. The FDA told me that it has not certified any of the products I sent them because it does not issue certificates and has not approved any of the products I brought to them. Temu's third-party conduct policy states that suppliers can't sell items that could be of harm to its customers. But I'm finding more and more evidence that they're not following through on that promise. They're being fraudulently advertised as having their approval. Is that something that, consumers should be concerned about?
Absolutely. So if there's any chance at all that this is going to fail on you, a consumer absolutely needs to know that. It's really, really concerning that any of these products are available anywhere.
Temu states that sellers on its platform must comply with UK trading standards and laws. But taking action against the sellers is proving difficult.
If you have bricks and mortar shops or retailers in the UK where UK regulators and UK trading standards, for example, can access them and enforce against them, then that's one thing. If you've got sellers who are based outside the UK or outside of Europe, it's very hard to enforce against someone who's not within your jurisdiction.
But what about the other products I've bought from Temu? I want to find out what they're made from. The UK has strict laws governing the quantities of toxic chemicals allowed in goods. So I'm going to send 5 jewellery and clothing items I've bought to a toxicology laboratory for testing. How concerned are you by these results? And the results could pose a significant danger to Temu shoppers.
I'm very concerned. These are not adhering to any guidelines for the level of toxic heavy metals.
If you can purchase this without proving your age, that's a real shocker.
I am saving so much money when spending it on Temu.
Online shopping sensation Temu has been encouraging me and millions of others to shop like a billionaire, with its lively adverts focusing on its cheap prices. But I want to investigate whether there's something else going on with the technology behind Temu, enticing customers to return to it again and again. And I'm finding it fascinating how easily I'm being drawn into the Temu app. It's got all of these spinning wheels for prizes and deals, flash sales. It's even got a section where you can play games.
It is gamifying the shopping experience, but on steroids. They are alluring aesthetics. They're cartoon-like, they're playful.
And it feels like everything the app is doing is designed to try and keep you entertained and stimulated and on the app for as long as possible. Apps and games have a measurable effect on the brain. So I've commissioned an expert in brainwave technology to measure my pleasure responses to Temu, Amazon, because it's also an online marketplace selling a wide range of products, and a gambling game.
So it's just an EEG headset. It's going to pick up the electrical signals from your brain. And that's going to allow us to monitor what's going on inside your head.
Trey's headset is recording my brain activity to measure how stimulated I become while using these 3 apps. I'll use each one for 10 minutes. And for the shopping apps, I'll purchase the same number of products from the same categories, like clothes and homeware. The more stimulated my brain is, the more likely I'll be to stay on the app and use it more often.
When you're ready to start browsing, just give me a nod and I'll make a note of the time.
Okay.
And we're going to record.
I'm so used to the Amazon app, I guess, that it sort of becomes, you just kind of second nature, I suppose. I put some things in that I quite like in the basket and bought them.
Okay, I'm going to stop session.
So now I'm ready to have a look at the Temu app, see how it compares. Okay, so I'm going to purchase some stuff now. Order placed. After 10 minutes on each of the shopping apps, I move on to the gambling app. Okay, so I'm just playing roulette now. Ooh, I think I've won. Yep, just won. £1.40, £2.40. You don't have very long to decide where you want to place your bets, so I feel quite stressed whenever I have to decide. Oh, I think I might have won again. Yep, £1.80.
Okay, so we've got some results in. The Temu app kind of sits in between the two. So what we were seeing was more of a kind of up-down journey, similar to the gambling. With the gambling, you had a constant increase over the period of time, whereas with Temu, you were getting quite highs of pleasure, and then you were dipping a little bit, but the average pleasure was higher all the way through. But it definitely seems to give you more short-term wins.
So you think there could be a risk of addiction to the Temu app?
I think there could be a risk. If you're getting these little pleasure spikes consistently, it's a lot harder to come off.
It's really interesting that it's that sort of halfway between Amazon and a gambling app, like halfway to a gambling app. That's mad. Temu's clever technology clearly had an effect on me, and that may help to explain just why it became so popular in such a short space of time. But for Ian Duncan-Smith, the line between successful marketing strategies and gambling is not clear enough in current legislation. He wants to investigate whether shopping apps like Temu should be better regulated.
So I think the Temu system is based on gambling technology. So instead of gambling per se on the outcome of something, they're actually gambling in the way to get cheaper products. It's based very much on the way that gambling companies work to get you addicted to their product.
During a cost of living crisis, adverts for low prices are very attractive. But if the Temu app is addictive, then we may be buying more than we need. There are other ways Temu incentivizes users to keep using the app.
They had an offer that encouraged people to exchange the details with their friends in return for £50 credits or indeed vouchers.
But there was more to the giveaway than meets the eye.
You were handing over a quite astonishing amount of personal information, which Temu said it would hold forever and do whatever it liked with. Things like your name, where you're living, your likeness, your voice. And that kind of got people saying, hang on a second, what is Temu doing with all this data? And why does it need it?
Ian Duncan-Smith has long been concerned about the dangers of British customers' data in the hands of China-based technology companies.
The Chinese government demands data from Temu, from any Chinese company. Under the national security law, they're obliged to hand it over. Well, I believe almost all these companies, like Temu, are data harvesters. One of their prime purposes is to sift data, to first of all collect it, and then pass it on to the intelligence services. Intelligence services in China will then sift through to see if there's anything of interest, anybody of interest, any job that somebody's in, which is interesting. The job of the government is to defend people from that kind of theft of their personal data. UK is slow on the pickup on this.
Temu states that its data practices are clearly disclosed in its privacy policy. But I'm trying to access that policy on its website, and it's proving difficult. Every time I click on the terms of use, it flashes up with the terms and conditions, and then it automatically forwards me back to the sign-in page. Alarm bells are sounding. Why won't they let you read the terms and conditions? Under the UK's consumer rights laws, even foreign-based companies that market their products to customers in the UK must make their privacy policies viewable, so Temu may be in breach. A few weeks ago, I bought a range of best-selling products from Temu. A £2.17 silver necklace, a £2.97 gold chain, and a boy's jacket for £11.09. Temu says it ensures that third-party sellers must never allow products that may cause harm on its platform. But there have been concerns raised about product safety, so I want to test some products myself. The UK has strict regulations about the amount of certain chemicals allowed in products, even if they're sold by foreign-based companies. I sent my purchases off to an accredited toxicology lab, and I've asked one of the UK's leading chemists to analyse the results.
This is some analysis of a gold chain, and if you look down here in the clasp and the trigger, then we've got here 17 milligrams per kilogram of lead and here 26.7 milligrams per kilogram of lead. That's much higher than what is permissible in these things.
Heavy metals are tightly regulated because of the health risks they pose. So, can you explain to me what lead is or what danger lead can be if it's in a product like this?
When lead builds up in the body, often over months or years, even small amounts of lead can lead to serious health problems. Reduced sperm count, miscarriage, stillbirth.
The gold chain I bought had twice the amount of lead than UK regulations permit, and 27 times more cadmium, a metal that with prolonged exposure has been linked to kidney damage and bone degradation.
This last example here is a child's jacket, and again, if we look at antimony, 82.5 milligrams per kilogram in the brown material and 33.6 milligrams per kilogram in the leather part of the jacket. So these are really absolutely unacceptable high levels of antimony.
Professor Harwood was most concerned about antimony, even though there's no legislation restricting the amounts that can be used in clothes.
Over a long period of time, this could have very, very bad effects on the body, and particularly the nervous system.
Professor Harwood found 10 times more lead in a sample of my silver necklace than regulations allow. None of these products contained a list of ingredients. How concerned are you by these results?
Well, I'm very concerned, and children younger than 6 are particularly vulnerable to lead poisoning, and this can have all sorts of effects on mental development, physical development, and pregnant women it can cause stillbirth, and it can cause neurological issues in young and old alike.
Temu said, our tests did confirm some items exceeded acceptable limits for heavy metals. These items have been permanently removed, and we are working with the merchants involved. We aim not just to meet the minimum legal requirements, but to exceed them. And will continue to devote significant resources to improving consumer protection. Temu has broken its promise to customers that it would never allow harmful products on its platform. And while it says that sellers comply with international trade laws, from the things we've tested, that doesn't always seem to be true. The laws that we do have to crack down on selling unsafe products were introduced before the advent of online shopping. And that means that it's not the platform, Temu, but the sellers who are breaking the law. I want to try and find out what needs to be done in order to better protect consumers.
What we want to see is online marketplaces having the exact same responsibilities as all other retailers do. And at the moment, that's not the case.
Right, so I've got my latest Temu haul. I've carried out one last test. It is against the law to sell tools like saw blades to consumers under 18. Even foreign-based companies need to ensure that they verify the ages of customers buying restricted items. No questions asked. I've managed to get hold of a really, really sharp saw. But I bought these items without being asked to prove my age. BB guns. This actually looks quite realistic. 6 months ago, the consumer group Which also bought age-restricted weapons from Temu. The company vowed to review its processes to prevent similar cases from occurring again, which has obviously not happened yet if I could buy them without any checks.
If you can purchase this without proving your age, that's a real shocker. You absolutely shouldn't be able to.
Temu said, we have been testing an age verification system in the UK and expect to roll it out soon. Regarding the technology behind the app, it said gamification elements are inspired by activities at fun fairs and shopping malls and are designed to be enjoyable and provide value by allowing customers to unlock discounts. As a newcomer to the UK, we have been adapting our practices to align with relevant regulations. We are committed to working with stakeholders to address and improve aspects of our app. In reference to its £50 promotion, it said it respects user privacy and used only chosen names and profile pictures to identify gift senders and recipients, and partially redacted information for reward winners. It said, it has never provided user data to the Chinese government, nor would we do so if asked. In relation to the visibility of its privacy policy, it said it had found that there was a bug affecting a small number of users. This has now been fixed. Temu takes the safety of products sold by third-party merchants very seriously. We have a comprehensive vetting, monitoring and enforcement process to ensure that products meet platform rules and regulatory requirements. We immediately remove any product listings in question pending a review. In the case of the carabiners, while the seller had provided the UIAA certificate, the seller failed to clearly mark the name or trademark of the manufacturer or supplier on the products themselves. We will allow the resumption of sales only after this issue is corrected. We do not allow forgeries and will take action against any sellers involved if such cases are found. The medical products have been removed and we are conducting a thorough review of other products claiming FDA approval to ensure they do not describe their registration status as approval or certification. There's nothing wrong with cheap products, but as I found, there can be concerning reasons for low prices. And with current laws protecting consumers not strong enough when it comes to stopping digital sellers from cutting corners, then I think the real question is the cheapness of products worth the risk?